Yay! Can't wait to see them. Somebody tell me about lichens. Okay, we used to think, huh?
I like them.
Okay, we like our lichens.
You like them?
So we used to think, yes?
They look like turkey tails.
They do sort of look like turkey tails. They're a little thicker than turkey tails.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we'll see some turkey tails
Like
today.
turkey tails are a type of mushroom.
Yes, they are. So lichens, we used to think were a combination of a fungus and an algae. Technology has taught us so many things. Now we know that while most of the time it's still a single algae or bacteria, there can be hundreds of microscopic fungi associated with it. That's why we see that incredible variety of lichens. I mean, there's a zillion different looks to lichens, and it depends on what the makeup of the symbiotic partnership is. So the lichens, the algae part is what photosynthesizes, makes the food for the fungus. The fungus, in turn, protects the algae, uses some of the food it provides, pulls some nutrients from the host plant, and feeds the algae. But fungi tend to be anti-inflammatory, antibiotic, antifungal, antioxidant, and have a lot of regenerative properties to them. So this partnership is so good because they don't have to kill a host. They can support each other and live on. The thing about lichens is when you see a lot of lichens on trees, which we can stand here and virtually every place we look, we can see lichens. Lichens don't like acid environments. So in areas where there's bad air quality, so that you have acid rain that falls, you're not going to find lichens. So we're seeing so many here. That tells you we have pretty darn good air quality here. And we have invasive plants. Anybody know what this lovely heart-shaped leaf is? Air potato vine. If we didn't have kids here, I would say bad words.
If you want to help remove all that air potato vine, we have the invasive species.
Does is ladders its way up trees like the air potato vine does and ends up covering over. This is our kudzu. This is Japanese climbing fern. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful fern. It's a true fern.
Spider.
Oh, okay.
It's a true fern, but we don't have any native vine ferns here. So when you see fern growing up a tree on a vine, you know that's where the spores until they ripen and are ready to fall.
Still alive? I mean, they're so dried out.
If we had enough rain, they would rehydrate them.
Yeah, she did.
You get to see.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Looks like it has.
That are kind of like roots of the mushroom are called hyphae. And then this looks like green mycelium. This is a slime mold. Wow.
Are those little girls here?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
got
they're so
teeth.
cute.
Grandchildren.
See, it has vertebrates come. And they start chewing that softened wood, swallowing it and pooping out the remains. Then the bacteria come and they start breaking down the poop and some of the wood. So it's a joint effort here. Yeah, it's a joint effort to get this big old log into a form so that in the soil, all the nutrients that it's holding in itself can now be taken up by the next tree, which is probably going to fall on our heads any minute since it's dead. This is probably the top of this tree right here.
That's what I was thinking.
It's a very tender little shoot that deer love to nibble. So for this darn thing to have a chance to get up that high, it spends a lot of its energy putting on spines. Because if you're a deer and you're hungry, is that going to be your first choice to eat? Probably not. But this vine is so smart that if you follow it up, the spines get fewer and fewer, so that by the time you're about 8-10 feet up there are no more spines. The vine is smart enough to know that deer can't reach that high. It can start spending its energy to grow leaves instead of growing spines. So it's a very smart vine. Like fungi perfecti, and order inoculant and put it in, drill some holes and put it in the base of the tree. And if they take hold and grow, they would start invading the tree and break it down.
And you would go to where?
Fungi perfecti. It's an online seller. It's one of those places where you can buy those blocks that you punch holes in the plastic and spray water and mushrooms come out. But what they really sell are inoculants. They sell both already put together plugs that are inoculated with different kinds of spores, or they sell the inoculant itself if you want to try to grow mushrooms. Fair warning, growing mushrooms is not as easy as it sounds.
Have you tried it?
No. People over the years.
But there were the insects they get stuck on.
But the next day he comes back and all the insects have flown in, climbed up, and they're eating that sweet sugar-rich sap. And he comes back the next day, has a meal of the insects, which are higher protein. Yeah, the sweet sugary sap is good for energy, but not good for protein. It's not nutritious. So he comes back the next day, eats those highly nutritious insects, and then drills another row of holes so he can have some of the sap for dessert and come back the next day and eat the insects. So he's a smart guy.
I'm gonna check something out though.
Yeah.
And the tree won't die through all of this unless it took 10 years.
Let me look at the stem a bit.
So it's
Yeah, it does.
like on this side.
If they were fresh, they'd have a lot more colors to them.
Oh yeah.
That's why they're called turkey's tails.
Oh.
So that is a mushroom, though.
Yes, that is a mushroom. Okay.
It's carotid that makes that brooding body.
Can you turn it over, please? Thanks.
That is cool.
Wow.
Looks like a feather in a hat.
It's growing right through it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Is that a hum? And that
This is
texture.
really dried out lichen, but here's yet another kind of lichen. So.
You want?